Since Norway is so mountainous, this land has always been difficult to farm. To give you an idea of just how difficult, let's compare Norway with her neighbors. Denmark has about 60% of her land that is arable, while Sweden only 9%. Norway, 3%. They've had to farm in some of the most difficult areas, even on steep mountainsides. The only way one can reach the farm is by a narrow footpath. There's no way of getting tractors or trucks up there. That is the reason that so many of those mountain farms are abandoned today. But others are still very much in use, because the farmer cannot take the land to himself. He must go to where the land is. If it happens to be on a steep mountainside, that is where his life is. Today, they do have some modern equipment to help them, but it's still a difficult life. The entire family must work together on the farm. You may be interested to learn that there are very few farms in the country that are larger than 25 acres. Most are under 10 acres in size. So it's quite common for a farmer to go into the neighboring town and get an extra job. At the end of the day, he returns to the farm to continue his work. A few years ago, the government introduced a program of animal husbandry. As a result, the income of the farmer has improved. Furthermore, because of that program, Norway today is self-sufficient in beef, milk, and butter. By the way, that is not one family. While the youngsters are playing in the hayloft, the women on the farm are making what they call flatbrød, or lefse. It's a special peasant bread that is made from ground-up potatoes, kneaded into a pizza shape, placed onto a hot griddle for a couple of minutes, and then turned over. It tastes similar to a thin, unsalted soda cracker. You can buy it commercially in the markets, but it's not nearly so good as the homemade kind. So about every 6 months, the women on the farms will get together and make lefse. Although it's difficult to earn a living as a farmer in any industrialized country, the Norwegian farmers have a good standard of living. However, their food is generally more expensive. There are some food items that are less expensive in Norway, such as milk and bread. Since Norway is so mountainous and the weather inclement, life among the farmers has always been uncertain. It's not surprising that they were superstitious. They believed in many things, including trolls, who were giants living in the mountains and in the fjords. They performed mischievous deeds. I would like to let a Norwegian tell you about their customs and superstitions.
Superstition is nothing unique for the people of Norway. Supernatural beings have lived and are still living all over the world. We have a man here whose name is Arne Taraldsen, and he has on many of his walks on the mountains and in the forests met them, and he will, with his drawings, show you what they look like. First, there are the trolls. Troll can be so old that trees grow on them. They've always got a very big nose, and this one is 2,000 years old. It grows Christmas trees, juniper bushes, carrots, and in the winter, ice. If the trolls are out in the sunshine, they will explode and they will turn into stones, and that is why we've got so many stones in Norway. He has a skiing stick and he just grabs a Christmas tree and he uses that. And he has always got a tail. His tail is very useful for steering when he's doing slalom. For every year there's a new fashion in skis, but he don't wear any boots. He likes to have fresh air on his toes. Oh yes, he's got 5 toes. And it's the next year fashion in skis, smiling skis. Generally, the troll lives inside a mountain and he is taller than church towers, as well as being harried, stupid and slow to act. All mountains have their special troll. And his name is Troll of Voss.
We're going northward with the famous coastal steamer to see some of the beautiful offshore islands such as Værø and Lofoten. During the summer, on board ship, you may find yourself serenaded by a group of school children touring their own country under the sponsorship of the school system. Yes, it's a wonderful way for these young people to learn more about their own country. About halfway up the Norwegian coast is the ancient capital of the Viking kings, Trondheim, or as the local residents would call it, Trondheim. It was founded 1,000 years ago by the Viking king Olaf Tryggvason. It was here where the Vikings went out in their longboats across the Atlantic to the North American continent and down the coast of Europe, plundering cities. Today, Trondheim is located on the ice-free Trondheim Fjord. It is the country's 3rd largest city with a population of about 130,000. The city still retains much of the flavor of the past in its centuries-old buildings that have been tenderly preserved. Some of the buildings have been turned into warehouses, rental stores, and attractive apartments that sell or rent at premium prices. Old bridges have been preserved as mementos of the past. The city of Trondheim has long been a shipbuilding and fishing center. Today, fishing is still an important part of Trondheim's industry. Walk along the wharf and watch fishing boats ply back and forth. Or you may wish to buy some shrimp directly from the fishermen. Most of the seafood will be found in the large indoor fish market. This is where the locals buy their food. Yes, seafood is a very important part of the Norwegian diet, and it's common that a Norwegian family will have seafood 3 or 4 times a week. Virtually every town in the country will have a place where the farmers may sell their produce directly to the housewives, and generally at prices a little less than in the neighboring stores.